If you would get asked to teach at the Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, where you've studied, what would you do? Would you do it, first of all, and what would be your subject?
Wow, that would take a lot of thinking. I'm not sure. Sure, I would love to do something like that. I'm certain that they have plenty of other people more qualified than me to step up and do it. I guess I could show them how to play bass. I could show them how to bartend. And how to work on motorcycles, and that's about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know if that doesn't really fit into the college curriculum though.
I don't know. Maybe these days.
Yeah, maybe a nice general studies degree, right?
Exactly. But like, what do you remember most of studying? Like having the years of university. Like, what is the most memorable situations? I mean, it was college. It was, it is what it was. A lot of partying, a lot of not going to class. I did take art history, which is broken up into 2 sections. Art history. Okay.
Yeah, and the first half I cheated on.
How did you do that?
Well, you would take tests, and there would be slides, and you'd have to write information about the slides. And I had a clipboard, and I just wrote all the information down on the clipboard, so you just look while you're doing it. But the second half of the class, I didn't cheat, and I got a better grade the second half. So I guess a nice little story about cheating there. I got an A the second time when I didn't cheat.
You've played Russia, India, Israel, and China.
Well, there is a commonality, and that's the heavy metal fan has some things that are across the board the same. Black T-shirts, headbanging, and going nuts at a show. But we get the opportunity to see a lot of crazy stuff. In Shanghai, China, we somehow ended up in a rock bar very late at night, and while we're there, having a good time, the cops rolled in, all dressed in their very military-looking uniforms, and I'm a little paranoid, and I'm very nervous, like, what's going on here? But it turns out they were just there to shake down the guy who owned the bar.
Okay.
And they got money from him and left, and then the party kept raging.
Okay, they just get the money and take the money and...
So I partied incredibly hard in Shanghai, harder than I ever thought I would. But I would love to talk more about India and Israel, both beautiful places. We were just in both of them. And India was amazing. We had an opportunity to run around and go to some temples and go to some markets and check out what India really looks like rather than the resort and the backstage. And I can't wait to get back there. That was a great experience. And Israel is just beautiful. The people, the place, it's an amazing place to go. We had a great opportunity in Israel and India this time around. We spent a day going to Jerusalem and then the Dead Sea. So sometimes you get to see cool stuff, but a lot of times if you're playing festivals, we're in the middle of nowhere here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I was asleep when we drove in, so I really have no idea where I am.
Okay.
And we'll be gone before long to drive to Donington for download. So it's sometimes you don't see much.
Okay. Do you know what country you're in?
We're in Austria, right?
Okay.
We have a tour manager that takes care of us very well and make sure we know where we are.
Okay.
He's probably paid too much, but he doesn't. Of course he's sitting right there. No, this guy keeps us all straight. No.
So, in your opinion, what role plays Pantera in metal?
Oh, they're huge. When we first started in 1994, they were pretty much the only metal band that was making heavy metal worthwhile, in my opinion. And they are definitely, like, they carried the flag at that time, which was a bleak time for metal, that grunge had kind of taken over. When we first started touring in vans, we would call people up to come play their house party. And from all over the country, there's ways back in the day before the internet, there was a magazine that would put out a yearly listing where you could send in your name and address to be included, so people were touring, they could call. And we would call these people and say, yeah, we're a metal band, we want to come play. And like, oh, a metal band, no thanks, click. And then you call up and say, hey, we're a punk metal band. Oh, really? Send us a tape, that sounds great.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and to relate that back to Pantera, they were one of the only people that are actually keeping metal from being a bad name. And yeah, we've actually had an opportunity to meet all those guys, and that was a great moment in our careers to be able to hang out and meet those guys.
We use biblical references in your lyrics, and I'm wondering when the last time was when you actually read the Bible?
I've never read it all the way through. I pick it up every now and again when we're in a hotel, just to see if they have page 666 in there. And most of the time they do, and I'll leave that open in the drawer. I don't spend a lot of time with the Bible. I'm more a spiritual person than a religious person.
Yeah.
And yeah, to me that's, I'll just leave it at that because I could probably comment and offend people, but we don't want to do that.
You have quite some apocalyptic songs, and I'm wondering like what your thoughts are on the end of the world.
Well, I have 2 children, so I certainly hope that it's not coming anytime soon. I think man's just fascinated with destruction on some level, and I think all these people who think the end of the world is coming are just playing into that a little too hard, maybe. It could happen, but we don't know. You have no way of knowing beforehand. I actually saw something recent, and this could be baloney, I don't know, because I'm no scientist, but supposedly an asteroid passed really close to the Earth recently, like within 9,000 units. Cameraman nodding his head, yeah. And apparently scientists knew about it maybe a day or 2 beforehand. So for all we know, there's one of those right around the corner. Hey, this is John Campbell from Lamb of God, and you're watching MULATSCHAG, the only TV you will ever need.